Animal Crossing Switch still hasn't gotten any news since its announcement in September. So before we see what's new in the game, we still have some time to talk about our ideas. Being the mayor was a big part of Animal Crossing New Leaf. The main part about being mayor were the public works projects. I absolutely loved them in New Leaf, however I still think there's some room to improve. In this video, I'll be discussing 5 of my ideas for public works projects. Now, these ideas are going to be much more important ideas than just obvious stuff like more projects. Without much further ado, let's jump right into it. My first idea is to allow more customization for each project. What do I mean by this? Well, I think we should be able to color some of the projects, if not all of them, to different colors than they normally are. For example, maybe you could change this bench from yellow to, say, blue. They could even give some new designs instead of just colors, like they already have for the bridges. I think what you should be able to do is either select what color you want as soon as you begin building it, or after you build it, you could talk to Cyrus and he will paint it for you for a certain amount of bells. Out of all the things on this list, this will definitely do the most for making your town more unique. My next choice is more about fixing a limitation from New Leaf. I think we should be able to place public works projects on the beach. This area was very limited in customization in New Leaf, as nothing could be built there. I think if this does become a feature, however, the beaches will have to become bigger since there isn't too much room how it is right now, and we wouldn't want to get someone stuck. I think at the very least there should be some public works projects exclusively for the beach. Maybe there could be a lifeguard tower or an umbrella. No matter how they do it, I just want to be able to customize the beach a little bit more than we could before. Now this next idea isn't my own, but actually comes from a commenter named Kuna from my previous video, saying that they would like some sort of pathways to be added, and I think this is a great idea. In all other games we've had to lay down patterns to simulate the look of pathways. With this new feature, I would presume they'd look a lot nicer and connect to all the buildings very smoothly, unlike the patterns where sometimes there'd be a space between the building entrance and the pattern. The only issue I could see with this is that it'd be hard to implement. Maybe they could add a map where you could draw where you want the paths to be built. Also, with the addition of this, you would still be able to use the patterns, but this would likely look a lot better and would most likely be the better option. So this next one is a bit of an expansion to something already in New Leaf. In that game, you were able to renovate the town hall to look different. I think you should be able to do that for many other buildings around the town, or maybe even Main Street. We've already seen a little bit of this with the 2 types of police stations, but I think being able to change the look of retail, the roost, and possibly more would go a long way in giving your town a unique personality. Maybe to unlock each one, you'd have had to spend a certain amount of bells at each location. I'm not sure if they do the same for Main Street buildings, as those usually change over the course of the game, but it would be cool nonetheless. For my final idea, it is definitely the biggest one. I think you should get to control what spaces villagers are allowed to move into. Many times, villagers would move into places where you wanted to build something, or somewhere where you have, say, like a garden. With this feature, you'd be able to build a spot where they could move in. Maybe if you don't have any spots available, no more villagers would be able to move into your town, so you'd have to work on those before getting more and more villagers to move in. Also, you'd likely to be able to remove them later, considering a villager hasn't already moved into that spot. This would likely solve a lot of complaints about how villagers moved in New Leaf and in the entire series. This would also give you much more control over how your town looks and how many people can live in your town at a time. In one of my towns, a lot of villagers would move into the same area and it made it kinda hard to move around, so this would definitely have helped solve that issue. But anyway, that's it for this video. Do you have any ideas? Let me know in the comments. All videos that aren't mine are linked in the description. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.